It's the Daily Planet for Thursday, July 9th, 2020. I'm Jimmy Olsen. We heard Kanye West making his announcement that he's running for president. Well, he laid out his platform yesterday. His ideas include ridding toothpaste and deodorant of chemicals that prevent us from serving God and making America more like the fictional country Wakanda from the movie Black Panther. In a new style, InStyle magazine, the new issue, Drew Barrymore, she was interviewed. She says, quote, "I have to work so hard at not being the size of a bus." She even wonders that if it's karma because when she was a skinny mean girl in a past life. There's a new Wolfman movie in the works with Ryan Gosling taking the title role. He plays an anchorman who gets infected. It's being directed by the same guy that directed The Invisible Man, which was a huge hit. Lee Daniels developing a Wonder Years reboot about a black middle-class family in Alabama in the 60s. Fred Savage, who starred in the original series, is also producing, and he'll direct the pilot. The original Bo and Luke Duke are not down with canceling the General Lee because of its rebel flag on the roof. Tom Wopat says, quote, "I feel fortunate to be living in a time where we can address some of the injustices of the past, but the car is innocent." Rock and Roll Hall of Fame introduction ceremony is being replaced by an HBO special November 7th. This year's honorees included Depeche Mode, the Doobie Brothers, Whitney Houston, Nine Inch Nails, Notorious B.I.G., and T-Rex. Lady Antebellum and Seattle blues singer Anita White could not come to an agreement about sharing the name Lady A. The band says she wanted $10 million for the rights, so they're asking the courts to settle the whole thing. Bella Hadid is calling out Instagram for removing pictures she posted of her dad's U.S. passport, along with the caption, "My Baba and his birthdays of Palestine." In fact, she says, quote, "Are we not allowed to be Palestinian on Instagram? This is, to me, bullying." On the final at-home episode of Saturday Night Live, Colin Jost did his weekend update segment in his living room with an acoustic guitar strategically placed behind him on a couch. And after he got called out for it, he said that he had no idea that it was there, and he's never even played guitar. Now he's blaming it on his girlfriend. He says it's Scarlett Johansson's guitar. Travis Tritt, Vince Gill, Gretchen Wilson, and Trace Adkins will be performing at Charlie Daniels' funeral service. It's going to be held tomorrow at the World Outreach Church in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Also, Tennessee State Capitol will honor Charlie by flying Fag's half-staff tomorrow. Blake Shelton, Gwen Stefani, and Trace Adkins are doing one of those drive-in theater concerts on July 25th. It'll be like the Garth Brooks show that was recorded and then shown on drive-in screens across North America. Tickets are $115 per vehicle, and social distancing guidelines will be followed. Someone stole Todd Herndon's brand new truck a few weeks ago. On Monday, he posted a video, very angry video, after he found it, and when it was recovered, had 5 bullet holes in it. Justin Moore says that his love for country music, which certainly makes life easy when they're in the car together listening to great stations like ours, but sometimes he and his wife like to mess with the kids. He says, quote, "We also push some old school rap on them, Eazy-E, Snoop Dogg, and those guys, just kind of out of the fun of it." There's a new online series called My Number One Moment that's worth checking out. Each episode will feature a songwriter talking about their first number one hit and then doing an unplugged version of it. The first one features Hardy, who co-wrote Morgan Wallen's Up Down. In the sports arena, the Ivy League has canceled all of its fall sports. Also, release dates for Halloween Kills and the new Candyman have been pushed back. I remember the little girl who played the Empress in Neverending Story back in the day? Well, she's all grown up and starring in a new fantasy film. NBC, The Weakest Link, rebooting that with Jane Lynch as the host, and Netflix has canceled The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Former Fox News anchor Shepard Smith going to be joining CNBC this fall. Tyler Perry says goodbye to Medea with Medea's farewell play. That'll be streaming on BET Plus starting August 27th. Some random thoughts you may have known or not. The first song ever played on an iPod was a house music dance song called Groove Jet, If This Ain't Love by Spiller. The first self-made female millionaire in the U.S. was black. Her name was Madame C.J. Walker when she died in 1919, shortly after becoming a millionaire, selling beauty products and hair products specifically designed for black women. The phrase, "'Tis better to have loved than to have never loved at all," comes from a Lord Tennyson poem from the 1849 called In Memoriam AHH. It's not about love. He was mourning a friend's death. IBM has gotten the most patents of any company in the United States for the past 25 years in a row. It has 9,262 of them just last year. The Harlem Globetrotters were founded in Chicago. Their offices are in Georgia now. They have never been based anywhere in New York, let alone Harlem. So in the dating world, you always hear of stop being so picky. Well, there was a study that did a little research on being picky about having a type. Well, they're saying a type is a dating myth. So we've seen a lot of the videos of people on Zoom calls maybe using the restroom and forgetting that they were on that call. Well, what are the top ways that maybe you've been embarrassed or we've embarrassed ourselves on those Zoom calls? One of them, talking for a while and then realizing you were muted the whole time. That's happened to about a third of us. Saying something embarrassing when you thought you were muted. Someone walked in and interrupted you like your kids or spouse. Of course, there we go. You forgot your camera was on when you went to the restroom. That's happened to 22%. Someone walked through the background naked. Yes, I've heard that happening to a few people. You didn't realize that people could tell you were not wearing pants that day. Other embarrassing background events besides nudity. Taking a screenshot of the call without muting yourself so everyone heard it. And then you were talking to your pets or yelling at them. And then even yelling at your kids without muting yourself. Always remember, mute on a Zoom call is your friend. And remember your pants. So it's always that big discussion. Do you want to go back to work? Do you want to stay working at home? Many want to stay working at home. Some do want to head back to work, but less than 1% of people are really excited to reunite with their coworkers. So have you taken a vacation day since the pandemic started? I will admit, I have not. Well, if you have, good for you. A survey says 62% of Americans, though, have not. 12% have just taken one day of vacation. And the survey also found that the majority of Americans are planning to take a vacation this summer, but they're going to mostly stick to quick local trips in the car. Lay's and their new flavored chips, well, they've released 5 new restaurant-inspired flavors, including cheesesteak and hot chicken. Others of those are the New York-style pizza inspired by Grimaldi's in New York, the Nashville hot chicken inspired by Party Fowl in Nashville, the Philly cheesesteak inspired by Geno's Steaks in Philadelphia, Carnitas street taco inspired by El Torito in Los Angeles, and the Chili Rinaldo inspired by Cocina Azulu in Albuquerque. Now, these chips are going to be hitting the stores next week and will be on sale through early September for you to get out there and get your best Lay's taste on. So did you ever thought it was better for your child to grow up with a dog? Well, according to a new study, they say kids who grew up with dogs are better behaved. Also, they found in another survey that women spend almost 1 month out of every year worrying. Burger King is going to start selling mini milkshakes for $1. Popeyes has been testing a barbecue bacon cheddar version of its chicken sandwich. Celebrating birthdays today, Georgie Henley, 25. Michael Musso is 29. Kylie Williams, 34. You know her from Cheetah Girls. Fred Savage of The Wonder Years. He is 44 today. Jack White from White Stripes, 45. Scott Grimes, he is 49. Courtney Love, 56 today. Simple Minds singer Jim Kerr, 61. Kevin Nash, pro wrestler turned actor, 61. Kelly McGillis, 63. Remember her as the flight instructor in Top Gun. Tom Hanks is 64 today. Also Jimmy Smith, 65. John Tesh, 68. O.J. Simpson, 73. Dean Koontz, horror writer. He wrote Odd Thomas and the novel called Watchers that inspired the Corey Haim movie and its 3 sequels. He is 75 today. Richard Roundtree is Shaft, 78. James Hampton, 84, Love American Style. Also, he was the dad in Teen Wolf, and Trooper Hannibal Dobbs of F Troop. It was on this date in 1795, one James Swan personally paid off an entire national debt of $2,024,899 that the U.S. owed to France. In 1958, a Catholic magazine called Contacts launched a campaign for clean lyrics in pop music. One of the songs that they wanted to change was Elvis, Wear Your Ring Around My Neck, because it promoted going steady. 1982, Disney's Tron was released. In 1983, Every Breath You Take from the Police hit number 1. 1995, the Grateful Dead played their last show with Jerry Garcia. Mike Tyson was banned from boxing and fined $3 million for biting the ear of Evander Holyfield. That was this date, 1997. American Pie released this date, 1999. Pete Sampras won his 7th Wimbledon title this date in 2000. The Backstreet Boys choked back tears as they announced on MTV's Total Request Live that A.J. McLean had entered rehab for depression and alcohol abuse just days before. That was this date in 2001. In 2002, George W. Bush awarded Nelson Mandela the Presidential Medal of Freedom. In 2003, it was the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, The Curse of the Black Pearl. That was released. And then in 2004, Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, that was released in theaters. This date in 2006, a Comedy Central defied David Chappelle's wishes by giving us Chappelle's Show, The Lost Episodes. And in 2011, Derek Jeter became the 28th player of Major League Baseball history to join the 3,000 hit club. There's your Daily Planet for Thursday, July 9th, 2020. I'm Jimmy Olsen, and you can always find this anywhere podcasts are available. You can also subscribe on my social media pages to find these stories and so much more. It's at My Buddy Jimmy on Facebook and on Twitter. Also, find me on YouTube, My Buddy Jimmy 101, and subscribe as well.